This Good Morning Northwest Morning Spread is brought to you by Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning.
All right, it's 6:53. Time to get you ready to take on your Wednesday here in the Morning Sprint.
Sydney Charles has details on crucial talks between President Biden and President Volodymyr Zelensky on the last day of the NATO summit.
Natalie Grant has details on a special fundraiser that will help you keep cool this weekend.
Allison Martinez has your forecast on a mostly sunny and clear day ahead of us.
But first, the trial for the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students has been paused. The judge granted Brian Kohberger's legal team a 37-day stay. His lawyers saying they need that time to go over the materials from the grand jury's indictment. According to court documents, the defense could renew that motion, further delaying the trial that was set to start in early October.
People living west of Quincy are now allowed back in their homes as evacuation orders have been lowered for people around the Baird Springs fire. That fire burning about 10 miles west of Quincy near Trinidad and the popular Crescent Bar Resort area. On Monday night, smoke and flames crawled along the hills near Highway 28, closing it down for several hours. It burned 2,400 acres in a short amount of time. Those hills are home to some small farms. Crews were able to stop the fire before it came too close. At last check, they said the fire is not growing. The cause of this fire still not known yet.
We are in a threat level 3 lockdown. We are not going in or out of the cockpit.
That was the audio of the pilot from an Alaska Airlines flight talking to air traffic control last Wednesday, moments before making an emergency landing at Spokane International Airport when a passenger threatened to detonate explosives mid-flight. According to court documents, a bomb threat was written on a receipt and passed to a flight attendant. Law enforcement later confirmed there was no actual threat, that it was a hoax. The man arrested for making that threat, Brandon Scott, is in the Spokane County Jail. You can find the link to the full recording under this story on KXLY.com.
We're taking a look at our highs on this gorgeous Wednesday. Now, as you can see, we're at 87 in Spokane, 86 in Coeur d'Alene. Nothing too crazy ahead of this weekend. In central Washington, you're going to see us inching towards those higher temperatures. 91 in Moses Lake, 92 in Tri-Cities.
Well, it's the final day of the NATO summit, and so far, NATO leaders have agreed to make it easier for Ukraine to eventually join, but not providing a timeline, saying in an official statement, we will be in a position to extend an invitation to Ukraine to join the alliance when allies agree and when conditions are met. President Volodymyr Zelensky responding with sharp critique, scolding the so-called vague wording about conditions, saying uncertainty is weakness. Zelensky is now booked for a one-on-one meeting today with President Biden.
We're learning more about Charles Harper, the man at the center of a nearly 8-hour-long standoff with Spokane police. Harper had a similar run-in with police in 2016 outside of Zola's Lounge in downtown Spokane. Officers say he then was threatening people in the area with a machete. Eventually, Harper went inside of Zola's. That's when officers shot him once, hitting him in the back. Harper was sentenced to a year community custody back then. Harper is scheduled to appear in court today.
The Washington State Department of Health has suspended a Spokane County counselor over sexual misconduct. Working as a skills coach at Daybreak Youth Services, Madison Tabor allegedly counseled below the standard of care when interacting with her clients. The DOH accuses her of crossing boundaries with her patients, going as far as sexual contact. She has 20 days to challenge the charges.
The Spokane Valley Police Department is searching for a man wanted for attempting to rob a Banner Bank in Spokane Valley Friday. According to the police department, a man described as wearing a baseball cap and masked walked into the Banner Bank on Argonne and Sprague and handed a bank teller a note asking for $20,000 in cash in $50 and $100 denominations. The only problem, that bank is cashless, so tellers had nothing to give him. He left empty-handed, drove away in a red SUV that police have found. If you know anything about this, you're asked to call Crime Check 509-456-2233.
Well, we're spending the morning here at the Urban Art Co-op talking about their Scoops and Bowls fundraiser that's coming up this weekend here and how you can get your hands on one of these handmade masterpieces. It's happening from 10 to 4 on Saturday at Manitou Park. It's about $15 for one of these bowls plus a scoop of ice cream or an ice cream sundae. And so they're encouraging everyone to come on down and check it out to get these vital funds back into their nonprofit studio.
The construction project on Highway 95 begins today in North Idaho. Starting this morning, crews will close lanes as they begin work to seal coat 37 miles of road starting at Worley. That project should take around a month to complete. All right, we're back with a final check of weather with Allison Martinez next.